This is episode number 8 of the High School Football Roundup podcast for Thursday, September 1st, 2016. I'm Walter Johnson, and in this episode of the High School Football Roundup podcast, a quick preview of some of the games for this Labor Day weekend. And starting with Thursday night, September 1st. A couple of games on Thursday night here in Southwest Georgia. Starting at Hugh Mills Stadium in Albany, where the Monroe Tornadoes, coming off a 12-0 shutout win over crosstown rival Westover, will try to go to 2-0 against the 0-2 Thomasville Bulldogs. And despite the 0-2 record, and the Bulldogs played a couple of teams from higher classifications, losing last week to Thomas County Central out of Class 5A, 16-14, the final score at Thomasville's Veterans Stadium. And the week before that, the Bulldogs fell to Class 4A Cairo, 23-12. Sarah Makers came out on top by 11 points. And the Tornadoes were led by Ulysses Williams, who had almost 100 yards receiving, 96 yards to be exact. Fell 4 yards shy of the triple-digit mark in last week's opener. And the Bulldogs are looking for win number 1 under new head coach Zach Grage, first-year head coach. And Thomasville was just 1-8 last year. And obviously, if the Tornadoes are to go to 2-0 in 2016, they're going to have to eliminate a lot of mistakes against Westover. And in last week's game, I believe according to the Albany Herald, there were 37 penalties between both teams. And more on Thomas County Central and Cairo right toward the end of this podcast. And moving right along, and the only other Thursday night game played this week will be at Centennial Stadium in Camilla, as Bakerton Charter takes on Chattahoochee County out of Casita, Georgia, just southeast of Columbus. And Fort Benning takes up a good chunk of that county. But to make a long story short, and this is the first Region 1 Single A contest of the season for Chattahoochee County. And they fell to Marion County in their season opener last week. And as for the Blazers of Bakerton Charter, and they're looking to get back in the win column after a loss to Pelham last week. And the Blazers also hope to avoid an 0-2 start in their region play, which is very important since you have the power rankings in Class Single A, private as well as public schools, and the top 24 teams in both divisions advance to the state playoffs. So that's a big deal right there. And the Friday night action on September 2nd will start in Leesburg, where the 2-0 Lee County Trojans play host to a team that's also 2-0, believe it or not, in the Hardaway Hawks out of Columbus. And Hardaway is 2-0 with wins over Troup and Harris County. Seeing Troops out of LaGrange, Georgia, and Harris County is just down I-185 in Hamilton, Georgia, just north of Columbus. Harris County is sort of similar to Lee County. They're both north of their respective central cities. Harris County north of Columbus, Lee County north of Albany. County coming off another solid defensive effort in a 29-12 win over Bainbridge at Bainbridge. And speaking of the Bearcats, they'll try to get back on track at Lincoln of Tallahassee, Florida, weather permitting. And depends on how far Tropical Storm Hermine goes. Expect to make landfall late Thursday night. And it'll plow through south central southeast Georgia on Friday. Should be out to sea by Friday afternoon. And quickly, some of the other games of interest. And locally, the Friday night game at Humel Stadium has 0-2 Albany High facing 0-1 Westover in a battle of winless teams. And both teams will be looking for win number 1 2016. And got shut out by Metro County 24-0 last week. And the Patriots were also shut out by Monroe 12-0. And both teams obviously looking for positive momentum. And Westover showed some spurts of progress, but penalties ultimately killed the Patriots against Monroe last week. And how about 0-1 Darty after taking last week off, losing to Turner County a couple of weeks ago in a Thursday night game, ironically, traveling to Nashville, Georgia to face the Berrien Rebels, who were blasted by Irwin County 42-7, only to escape with a 10-6 win over Lanier County last week. Just like Albany High and Westover, the Trojans from East Albany will be looking to crack the win column. And some other action, the Worth County Rams splitting their first two games and losing to Thomas County Central 48-7 and rallying from behind to defeat Turner County 39-36 on a last-second field goal, hosting their second Region 1 5A team in as many weeks. In the form of the Veterans Warhawks out of Kathleen, Georgia, Houston County, sandwiched between Warner Robins and Perry and Houston County, and Fort Valley and Peach County. And the Rams will be looking to get the 500 with a win. Also, got 1-0 Mitchell County at home, taking on Stewart County. And the Knights out of Lumpkin, Georgia, sitting at 0-1. And Terrell County Green Waves winless at 0-2. And losing to Taylor County and the Miller County. And this is getting any easier. And traveling down to Pelham, Georgia to take on the 2-0 Hornets. And an undefeated team at 1-0 hitting the road to face another winless team in the 0-1 Calhoun County Cougars, who were shut out last week by Shalai County in their opener 21-0. And the GISA games, Deerfield Windsor Knights, losers of back-to-back games since defeating Trinity Christian of Sharpsburg in their opener, will try to get back on the winning track against the Terrell Academy Eagles out of Dawson. Terrell Academy 0-2 so far this season. And the Westwood Wildcats out of Camilla trying to get back on the winning track as well, facing the Flint River Wildcats out of Thomaston, Georgia. And Thomaston sandwiched in between Atlanta, Columbus, and Macon. And there is no... And despite the name Flint River, and it's not in southwest Georgia, it's in Thomaston, Georgia, as I mentioned just a moment ago. And the Flint River flows just south of Albany, straddling the Clayton, Fayette County line, and flows its way around Griffin, just west of Griffin, and through Butler, and splits Sumter, Dooley, Chris counties in two, lack of a better term. But in any case, And Westwood, just like Deerfield Windsor of Albany, will try to get back on track after losing back-to-back games in as many weeks. And in GICAA action, and a battle of winless teams, as the Sherwood Christian Eagles out of Albany, Daugherty County will hit the road to face Covenant Christian in Sherwood's 0-2. Covenant Christian out of Macon, 0-3. Both teams looking for win number 1. And other games of interest, Colquitt County Packers 0-2 after a 25-14 loss to American Heritage of Florida in front of a national TV audience in ESPNU. We'll try to look for win number 1 against Tucker, 1-1 on the season in Tift County, the only GHSA Region 1 7A team, and to still be undefeated through the first 2 games of the season. We'll try to go to 3-0 against Thunder Ridge, Colorado, at the Disney Worldwide Sports Complex just outside of Orlando, Florida. And it'll be interesting, and not much is known about Thunder Ridge, Colorado, and don't know much about football outside of Georgia, really. But in any case, the Blue Devils will try to go to 3-0 on the season. And Cook, after starting 0-2, and doesn't get any easier for the Hornets in Region 1 AAA, facing Brunswick. Lost a heartbreaker to and the Pirates, the Georgia Coast, lost a heartbreaker in the closing seconds of Coffee, 21-20. And moving right along, the Crisp County Cougars, the only Region 1 AAA team that's still in defeat. That's 2-0 right now. And Monroe of Albany, the only undefeated team right now. Only other undefeated team, I should say, will face Turner County up in Ashburn, Georgia. And in the limited amount of time we have remaining, and a little over 2 minutes to go, and how about the game of the week? The featured game this week here in Southwest Georgia. And before we get to that, I also mentioned the Early County Bobcats, losers a couple of weeks ago, 27-13 to Eufaula, Alabama. We'll try to crack the win column against Seminole County, battle of Chattahoochee County rivals in Seminole County, and cruise to a convincing win over Stewart County to open their 2016 season last week. And now to one of the top games in the state. And definitely the top game in Southwest Georgia. The Thomas County Central Yellow Jackets heading down U.S. Highway 84 to face the Cairo Syrup Makers, and the 2-0 Yellow Jackets coming off an easy win over Worth County to open the season 48-7, and then escape with a 16-14 win over Thomasville last week. We'll try to go to 3-0 against the 1-0 Syrup Makers, who had last week off after defeating Thomasville, ironically, 23-12 on August 19th, and Friday, in the battle for the Barnett Creek Bucket. This will be the battle for the Barnett Creek Bucket, 45th all-time meeting between the two teams. And Cairo won the Syrup Pitcher 2 weeks ago over Thomasville, 23-12. So it should be a very exciting matchup. And on that note, and that's going to end episode 8 of the High School Football Roundup podcast. And listen online at southwestgeorgianetwork.com and on Twitter at SWGA Network. And listen on Spreaker as well. I'm out of time.